Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome the principal of BoxHill Ma On Shan International Kindergarten, Mrs. Elizabeth King.
Good afternoon, everyone. Our honorable guests, School Director Mr. Tomkis Yuan, School Supervisor Ms. Shirley Chung, BoxHill Australia School Director Mrs. Sue McCallan, principals of other BoxHill branches and school coordinator, parents and grandparents, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this year's graduation and year-end ceremony. BoxHill had reached a milestone. This year has been the most challenging year for Ma On Shan branch, planning its 10th year anniversary celebration. And making it work has been the most rewarding. I would like to take this opportunity to mention the endless moral support provided by our school director, Mr. Tomkis Yuan, has kept us going over the 10 years. So thank you, Mr. Yuan. I would also like to mention how grateful my team and I for the guidance received and the readiness in times of need that our school supervisor, Ms. Shirley Chung, has provided. Thank you, Ms. Chung. I am sure that BoxHill will continue to grow in the future. Like one of you had said, from good to great. How about that? Yes. Most importantly, we couldn't have done it without all of you parents. Our partnership with you and your wholehearted cooperation in teaching our children well will always be treasured. I would also like to give thanks and praise to our grandparents. One of our principals also said, wow, so many grandparents in Ma On Shan. Yes, indeed. Clap your hands for our grandparents. And of course, our guardians, including our aunties, whom have been sharing with us this enormous responsibility. Give yourself a big round of applause, parents, guardians, and grandparents. Now, the theme for this afternoon's ceremony is about finding courage and inspiration. All through the years, I can say that this is what my colleague and I have been putting on every school day. No matter what happened, we have to look on the bright side of life. Our children and their teachers have put a lot of effort in today's performances. As part of the celebration, we have prepared a stage play, first time this year, to be performed by our talented graduating K2 and K3 students, with their excellent interpretation, no doubt. Before we commence, may I present to you our honorable guests, speaker for this afternoon, and of course with the kindness of our school directors, she flew into Hong Kong from Australia, especially for this occasion. It's been a privilege, and I am so proud to introduce to you the director of BoxHill Australia. Let's all welcome Mrs. Sue McCallan.
Thank you everybody for that warm welcome. To Mr. and Mrs. Young, Mrs. Elizabeth King, other principals, teachers, parents, and especially the children, thank you for welcoming Peter and I to this very special occasion. For the past 34 years, my passion has been in the early childhood education and care sector. The past 15 years in a leadership role for BoxHill Australia, a facility very similar to your schools, but providing long day care for babies and children until formal school age. Their parents are mostly working, studying, or have other commitments. During this time, a bond has formed between BoxHill Australia and BoxHill Hong Kong. Very special thanks must go to Mrs. Shirley Young in setting the scene for us 7,500 kilometres away, and today giving me again a real voyage of discovery, seeing a new land, expanding my knowledge and a new relationship with you all. At BoxHill Australia, we believe a respectful relationship is the most crucial part in a child's ability to successfully learn. It gives a child security, which allows them to explore, discover, solve problems, and communicate. In the adult workplace, all of us enjoy comfortable interactions with colleagues, sharing your family experiences, being supported when needed to perform a new job task, being able to ask questions and being given knowledgeable answers so you can perform to the best of your ability. Trusting relationships are formed. It is exactly the same for children, no matter what part of the world. It is part of lifelong learning, knowing who we trust, who will help us, who can give us the knowledge to think for ourselves. Trust and lifelong learning go together. Think of a child who takes a book and then crawls onto the lap of an adult. It is a safe place to learn, to take on the challenge of understanding new words or perhaps learning about a new character from a book. There are also learning challenges outside of the front door, challenges around us that move at a fast pace. In a school playground where children need to think for themselves would be an example. Children need to know how to protect themselves, how to manage their feelings, how to manage somebody else's feelings. They also need to know how to cope with changes in their life that happen often. We as adults all have had to deal with these emotions, and some of us cope better than others. It is no different for children. At kindergarten age, all children have their own ideas of what they want to achieve. They are creative thinkers. Their minds are like sponges soaking up water, and they challenge to be their best and be themselves. Kindergarten gives them the building blocks. Children are creative, they are clever, and they are fun. Their minds are open to all learning. They are little entrepreneurs. Many artists and inventors credit their success to kindergarten. They were allowed to experiment and perform tasks as they wanted with no wrong or right way. It made them feel good about themselves, and if they weren't happy, they would challenge themselves to do better next time. Lifelong learning at its best. Research in early childhood also suggests that children who receive language instruction are more creative and better at solving problems. In other words, a second language benefits other important skills. Because children are naturally drawn to learning, this age group is a golden opportunity that should not be wasted. Children just want fun. Their brains are open to hearing all new words and sounds. They are eager to see the response from adults when they try out these new words. And best of all, they will speak accent-free. As when we get older, foreign words are much harder to pronounce. At 7, 8 years of age and after, the ability to speak a second language is much harder to learn. At BoxHill, Australia, our kindergarten is used by many Asian families so their children can be exposed to the English language before commencing formal schooling. They speak their native tongue within their family home and they retain pride in their background and identity. This again has similarities to BoxHill, Hong Kong. Speaking two or more languages does not confuse. Again, children quickly identify and understand what words to speak to grandma or how to answer at school. And I'm sure that you know the benefits of your child's future in learning English. The language of science, aviation, tourism, media, to name but a few. 1 out of 5 people understand English, and thousands of schools around the world offer programs in English because of future academic needs. Learning this language will open job prospects around the globe, and as adults they will be able to learn in the language of the internet about other cultures, different habits, values and a way of life different to their own. Everything we do is lifelong learning. That's why I'm here today, to learn about your culture. Throughout my life, I felt that I didn't know enough. Everyone has a thirst for knowledge. We are all lifelong learners. I wish your children success in their journey to which they are destined for, but most of all, I wish them happiness throughout their life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mrs. King, for your kind words, and thank you, Mrs. Sue McCallan. May we now present to you the graduates of 2014-2015 academic year. Our K2 and K3 students will be singing a carefully selected gospel song. Let's clap our hands again for the graduates with their rendition of This Little Light of Mine, with Miss Kate Lai on the piano. very nice, children. Gave me goosebumps then. Very nice, very touching indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now be presenting certificates and awards. With the guidance of our beloved principal, Mrs. King, we recognise all the effort and perseverance our students have to go through in order to progress and develop in all areas of learning. Most of our children have done exceptionally well, particularly in language. Nonetheless, this afternoon, we will pay recognition to children who have excelled in all areas. And before we call them up, may we invite back on stage our dear Principal, Mrs. King. To present the graduation certificates, may we invite on BoxHill School Supervisor. Ladies and gentlemen, let's all welcome Miss Shirley Chung. To present the Best Achievement Awards, may we also invite on stage our honourable guest speaker, ladies and gentlemen, Mrs. Sue McCallan. Please let's encourage our children by giving them a big round of applause. To receive Kangaroo A's graduation certificates, let's all welcome their class representative, Nathan Chan. To receive Kangaroo B's graduation certificates, let's all welcome their class representative, Hayley Chung.